A six-sided die is thrown twice. The different rolls are as follows. Then in part A, it says, what is the percent that both throws will be even numbers? Even numbers are like 2, 4, 6, 8. Those are all evens. So go ahead and count how many sets there are where both of them are even numbers. I counted 9. And then we also need to figure out how many there are total. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. So 6 columns and 6 rows, which means there's 36 possible outcomes. If we want to find this as a percent, we can cross multiply and divide. And x comes out to 25, which is 25%. For B, it says, what is the percent that the second throw is a 5? So you're going to look for all of them where it says something and 5 and count how many there are. I counted 6. If we cross multiply and divide, this time we get 16.6 repeating. Today in class we talked about how 0.6 repeating is the same as 2/3. So instead we're going to write 16 and 2/3 of a percent. Now for part C. What is the percent that the first row is lower than a 6? So we're going to count all of them where the number in the first part, so we'll say like 1 and something, we want the first number to be less than 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I counted 30 of them. If we cross multiply and divide, we get 83.3 repeating. But 0.3 repeating is the same as 1/3. So 83 1/3% for part C. Now we're going to work on number 2. Number 2 says you have the ability to choose 3 of your own classes: art, language, and physical education, which is PE. There are 3 art classes, A1, A2, or A3, 2 language classes, L1 and L2, and 2 PE classes, P1 and P2. The order does not matter, and you must choose one from each subject. Then it says compare the percent of possibilities with A1 in your schedule to the percent of possibilities with L2 in your schedule. So we're going to go and count as many of those possibilities where we see an A1 in it. I counted 4, and there are 12 possible outcomes altogether. Cross multiply and divide. And for A1s in our schedule, we should get 33.3 repeating, but we can change that back to a fraction, and we know 0.3 repeating is 1/3. Now we're going to look at L2 in our schedule. L1 in our schedule. So anytime you see an L1, I count 6 out of the 12 possible outcomes. And you might already know what percent that is. But if you don't, you can cross multiply and divide. 6 is half of 12. So this comes out to 50% for L1 in your schedule. Then it says to compare. So is it more likely that you'll have Art 1 or Language 1? Because 50% is more than 33, it is more likely that I will have L1 in my schedule. Number 3. Fridays are selected to show your school pride. The colors of your school are orange, blue, and white, so you can show your spirit by wearing a top, a bottom, and an accessory with the colors of your school. During lunch, 11 students are chosen to play for a prize on stage. The table charts what the students wore. So we have a table with different colored tops, bottoms, and accessories. W will stand for white, O stands for orange, and B stands for blue. Part A says, what is the percent of outfits that are one color? So that means when the top, the bottom, and the accessory are all the same. So in that second column, you might see OOO. That means the whole outfit was orange. There's also a column that says BBB, which means the whole outfit is blue. So there's 2 possible outcomes that have all one color outfits out of 12 outcomes total. If we cross multiply and divide here, we get, well, actually, hold on, I wrote 12, but it should be 11. So let's try that again. Cross multiply and divide, and you should get 18.1818. So we're going to round it up to 18.2%. B. What is the percent of outfits that include an orange accessory? So wherever you see an O in the accessory row, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 11 possible outcomes. Cross multiply and divide. 5 times 100 is 500. Divided by 11 is 45.45 repeating. We're going to round it up to 45.5%. And that's it.